speaking.
It makes sense now. Pretty intuitive. It's the same thing as the Reaper problem, right? So they switch over to on attack. They switch over to Reaper to try and counter all your tanks. But what does a Reaper do when there's high ground? Absolutely nothing. He chases you for a second, but then you just run away, and then he doesn't have the mobility to follow you, right? So same thing with the Goats comp on the point. You try to contest the point, and you try to do it away from anybody that can stun you, like the Brig or the Rhine charge. And you just, you know, there's no divas here, so I can't point out the armor, but on Diva, there's a, you know, a little health pool of armor on her mech. And basically, the second your armor's gone, you just fly back up. And the same with Winston. Just rinse and repeat. You go to the high ground, you get healed, and then you go back in. It's also a little bit easier if you had more sustain, which you don't. You have the Mercy Zen. So you might want to swap out one of your healers for something more sustain. Probably the Zen. But yeah. So.
Okay, I'm gonna sit over here.
Defense Blizzard World, you're going with the Sombra Doom. But you're doing it with the Rhine and Zarya. I have made this work before, but probably better to run Winston Diva with this, what typically would be a dive comp. Just think about it. You want to create kill zones for Sombra and Doom to dive onto. So Doom's going to be like sitting up on the high ground somewhere because he wants to go in, get a kill, and then get out. Sombra's going to be somewhere in their back looking for a hack, right? She's going to be like jumping around here somewhere, maybe on the high ground, maybe off to the side somewhere, maybe on this high ground over here. But she's going to be looking for hacks, and Doom's going to be looking for that target so that he can go kill that target when she hacks him. Ryan and Zarya, all they can really do is just kind of hold here on the point. We ended up making this work pretty well. That's good. But Ryan and Zarya can't really chase a target when Doom and Sombra go in. Like, Sombra gets a hack on somebody, Doom goes in, but then Ryan and Zarya are just standing over here. And Zarya can poke a little, maybe you can throw a fire strike, but there's not really much else they can do to assist with that fight. Maybe Zarya bubbles the Doom as he jumps in. That works great. But then if he doesn't get a pick, they're going to start pushing in. And here's the problem. Ryan and Zarya don't have a DPS with them that can kill anything. They've got a Sombra who hacks and kind of pokes at the backline. You got a Doom that can quickly go in and do some burst damage, but what are you going to do against a Goats composition where they have large health pools and large sustain? You know what I mean? I don't know. They pushed pretty far, if I recall. I've been getting this scrim and the one with Night Sky confused, though. That was fine. This is the one from last night that I watched. I only know that because I recorded them on my own thing. What do you mean? Reinhardt can dive? It's on a 10-second cooldown, but it does 300 damage. Reinhardt charging into 6 people alone is not a dive, chat. But point is, you don't have any frontline damage. Ana and Lucio are going to be chilling on the high ground, healing up the tanks. Lucio's peeling for Ana. Ana's healing tanks. Alone at 20 HP. What do you mean? But they're going to be sitting on the high ground. Ryan's are on point at this little corner. And who's going to assist them in destroying a Rhine shield? Somber Doom is very good counter to goats, but you got to run it with dive. Zeus in the chat, what's happening, bud? And yeah, he's right. So, what is a good counter to dive? Well, how do you deal with with goats? How do you deal with goats? It's a very death ball comp, and if you get into range of their death ball comp, they stun you, they discord you, they micro missile you, they, you know, Zarya throws bombs at you, Zen throws orbs at you, Lucio throws orbs, or throws, you know, damage at you, Rhine starts swinging into you, fire striking you. If you get into range, you die. You can mirror match this with your own sort of death ball, but when it's just a Rhine and a Zarya, what sort of damage output do they have to assist in killing 6 people? You're in a situation here where it's 2 on the point v 6. Sure, Lucio and Ana are up on the high ground, and maybe Ana gets a nice nade or something like that, but on the point, it is a 2v6. Somber might be a little bit annoying from the back. Doom might go in for half a second to get a pick, but even if those two together get a pick, then it's, you know, 2v5. You're still at a disadvantage directly on the ground versus goats, which is a super high sustain comp that's just gonna walk into your Rhine and your Zarya and delete them. So how do you deal with dive or deal with goats? Well, one way to deal with goats is to sit on a high ground and deny their ability to roll over you if you're not mirror matching. If you're mirror matching, then you just contest them where they are. But you find high grounds and you force them to have to go on these long routes in order to get at you. Or high ground, long routes. But yeah, you take advantage of your mobility so that there's really no way for them to put the damage into you to kill you. They might be able to poke a little bit with Diva and Zen Orbs, maybe some bombs and maybe a little bit of beam from Zarya, but Rhine can't do anything at distance. Brig can't do anything at distance. Lucio Zen, they can do a little bit, but they're going to get more value at more of a mid-range kind of thing. Unless you got a god tier Zen. Zarya can't do anything except for in sort of like the mid-range. She throws a couple bombs here and there. And Diva is useless at anything but close range. So the whole comp can't do anything basically if you're on the high ground. Unless a Diva flies up here, but if Diva flies alone versus your team, then she's just gonna feed. At this point in the night, we assume Zen Goats. They love that comp. We could have picked around it better. Yeah. Well, the swaps that you make is Diva and Winston. Otherwise, same comp. That would be Somber Doom Goats, or Somber Doom Dive. And what do? Well, Goats is going to go try and contest the point. Diva jumps in to the side of the point opposite them so that they can't stun them. And then when she gets low, she flies back up. They will have repositioned on the other side of the point trying to get the Diva. Winston goes the opposite side of the point. And then they're going to have to cross this gap to go stun him. He contests for a bit. Now they're on this side of the point. D.Va's healed up. D.Va goes contest this side of the point. See what I'm getting at here? So you use your mobility to your advantage. Because Rein Zar alone don't have any mobility. Ana's great against goats. You get one nade in there and they're fucked. Unless the Zarya has bubbles to cleanse it. Ana Lucio, I like this. Lucio can peel for Ana. Sombra Doom are very disruptive, hard to kill. Again, back to 70% of time buffering. Don't worry about it. This VOD ain't going anywhere. You can rewatch it later. But a dive comp is very disruptive to goats. Typically, what you'll see is this circle of comps. There's McCree comp, goats comp, and dive. Goats rolls over McCree comp. They don't have the tanks, they don't have the sustain to deal with a goats comp. McCree comp counters dive comp. You can't really dive on a composition that has a shit ton of stun. You get stunned, you get discorded, you get deleted. Dive kind of counters goats in being more mobile. So here's your circle of comps that are typically meta right now. Okay, I am back to 100% of time. Oh, God. But yeah.
So I feel like as long as I can pull the healer's attention during the fights, then you guys should be able to get either a kill or some kills.
Yeah. You'll definitely be Zen's first timer.
Defend objective A.
I see goats.
Yes, goats.
Yeah,
Zen goats.
Is it Zen goats again?
Yes, Zen goats.
Alright.
I do like that Lucio came and joined the Rein and Zar. The second I hear goats, and we have a composition like this, I would have been like, we need to back the fuck up. We need to get away from them. Lucio, speed us out. We can't get rolled over by them. It's very bad.
I'm backing up a little bit here. They're going left side.
Where's Doom? Doom's over here looking for something. Big nade from Ana. Very big.
Oh, run.
Look at Ryan right now. He's getting deleted. He's already dead. See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. They just kind of like, it doesn't even matter that they're all purple. They just go in and they delete Ryan because he doesn't have anything to really assist him in the fight.
Ooh.
And then up next, Zarya.
We're dead.
Right? Or actually, Lucky's gonna go down.
Sorry, one.
Sorry's below. Right.
E10 kind of poke around in the back, going for the mega. You guys witnessed. Nah. You lost your main tank. You lost Sombra. It's 4v5. Even though you got Zarya, it's 4v5. And they're goats. Doom needs to get lots of picks here to make it worth. You do get another nade in. That's huge. Don't manage to demech the D.Va.
They're backing.
They're backing up.
What else they have? Nothing yet. They kind of soft reset. You lose your Lucio. Not sure why he was pushed up that far.
Alright, watch out.
Let me back it up. Oh, Lucio's already behind them. Why is he there? E10's over here. Where's Lucio? Lucio's here.
You guys win this.
Get the big nade in. They sort of have to reset at this point because they don't have the sustain and their tanks are purple and low. So this is a one fight because of that nade. I would say it was a lost fight if you didn't land that nade.
Ryan's low.
How does...
You guys win this.
Lucius over here. Goes behind them. Not sure why he went behind him at all, to be honest.
Ryan's low. They're backing. They're backing. They're backing.
Yeah, that quick regroup anyway, and came back hard.
They're backing.
Yeah, they're backing up.
That one Ana nade saved this fight for you. That being said, Lucio just fed 5v6. You got nobody to heal Ana except for her own grenade, which she needs to keep.
Alright, watch out, watch out.
They're coming back.
Which way, which way?
Right.
This, you could have turned this around, but
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Lucio fucked your team. Missed your punch, missed your E. Boost it up in the air. You are ulting.
Right.
Do you have anything to combo with, really? Not really.
Spin. Right.
But you kind of needed to use it because your health was really low.
Sleeping.
Nice.
Goes down, doesn't get a pick, unfortunate. Zen ults, lands next to Brig. This is something I would do on Doomfist chat, is landing next to a Brig in my ult. You can't kill a Brig because she's got a shield. And then if you land right next to her, she's just going to stun you. So don't do that. Like he ults.
Ryan spin. Right.
There's Brig, there's Brig. Right next to the Brig. Don't do that. That's something I would do on Doom. I don't play Doom.
Run.
Don't be a plat Doom.
Diva's on high ground.
You guys lose this fight.
That is all.
At least they committed Shatter to this fight. And Zenol.
We back for a second. I'd say.
Yeah, back up.
Maybe you could have done a delay ult to recharge Doom cooldown. Or he could have just retreated out of the fight and gotten a health pack. Gone back in.
Okay, EMP ready.
What? What? What is Lucio doing?
No one got late spawn. I have grab. We can just.
What? Your team? Your team in spawn? Lucio. What?
Grab EMP.
Yeah, grab EMP and then shoot a Ryan swing into it.
Or we get EMP shot.
Okay. Let me back up. Let me listen to comms.
Okay, EMP ready.
Got EMP ready.
No one got late spawn. I have grab. We can just grab EMP.
Yeah.
Good.
Grab EMP.
Grab
and then
EMP.
shoot, a Ryan swings into it.
I'm just looking at things. They have Lucio ult. They have Brig ult.
Or we could.
Grab EMP's fine. That being... I'm being picky because right now... Well, you're about to get Shatter back. But you don't have Doom ult. And I don't personally like... Why did it switch colors? I don't like using both Zarya and Sombra ult. Mainly due to the fact that both of those ultimates are potential team wipe ultimates by themselves. You got... What you could do here is you could... granted, they do have Lucio ult online, so maybe good that you use Sombra. But what you could do is, if they didn't have Lucio ult online, we decided to EMP Shatter instead, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I'm just listening to what was called, and based on what was called, I'm going on that. But they do have Brig and Lucio ult. This is something you need to be aware of, because going into the next fight, I would be looking for just a grab or just an EMP. However, if you did just a grab, they would out-sustain it because of those ultimates that they have. If you went for EMP, they wouldn't be able to use those ultimates unless Lucio was hiding somewhere. And then you could still do the same thing. You still wipe their team. With Sombra ult alone is just super powerful. Especially against goats. What does goats do against Sombra ultimate? Ryan can swing his hammer, but he has no shield. Diva can't matrix anything, but she can shoot her regular cannon, not her rockets. Brig can't bash, but she can just swing her little thing. Zarya can use beam and bombs, and that's it. No bubbles. Zen doesn't get any discord or healing, but he gets his regular orbs. Lucio only has his regular damage, no speed, no amp. So Goat's comp is kind of like fucked to a single Sombra ultimate. So you could just go for Sombra ultimate here. Additionally, you said you go for EMP Shatter instead. Again, that's 2 potential team wipe ultimates. A Reinhardt Shatter and a single Ana nade can wipe a team. A Sombra ultimate and an Ana nade can wipe a team. Zarya ultimate and an Ana nade can wipe a team. See what I'm getting at? However, they do have Lucio and they do have Brig ult online, and that changes the oncoming fight. I see what you mean. We EMP Shatter multiple times against them, so maybe overkill. Yes. I actually was talking about this with Honey on the Discord. We're talking about ults and ult economy and the kind of ults you should use in certain fights. And one thing that we disagreed on was the use of grav and a bomb in a Goat's composition. I argue that this is a waste of one of those ultimates because you only need one of those ultimates to kill one person in a Goat's comp. You can bash and bomb, or you can just use grav and look for an Ana nade, or I don't know, typically if you get grabbed on Goats, you're going to get wiped unless you have some support ultimates. But I prefer to use one of those ultimates to wipe a team rather than both at the same time. That way you have more ult economy going to the next fight. That being said, there are certain points where you want to be a little bit overkill. Example 2 CP, where you want to wipe the enemy team as fast as possible so that you can take control of the point and start pushing into their spawn. That would be a scenario where I'll argue the grav bomb is fucking ideal, because you want to be overkill, you want to make sure they're all dead. That's a great scenario for it. But yeah, so like here you're on defensive stage of second point streets phase of Blizzard World. Payload's over here. You're gonna get multiple contests around here. You're gonna want to extend your ult economy as much as you can, because you're gonna want it to snowball these oncoming fights through streets phase. There's not really a need to over ult. You only need one pick against the Goat's comp for it to have a lot of value. You kill the Rhine, they don't have any shield, they all get spammed out. You kill the Diva, they lose the Matrix. You nade them, they all die. You kill the Zarya, they have no bubbles, they all die. You kill the Zen, they have no sustain. You kill the Lucio, they have no sustain or speed. You kill the Brig, they have no stuns. So you kill any one pick in a Goat's comp, and it typically falls apart unless they start using ultimates to turn the tide. But long tangent here. But here, probably just EMP is fine, but because of those support ults, I'm fine with you grabbing and Sombra ult. I don't know. It all depends on what they have versus what you have.
EMP Shatter.
Yeah, I was thinking EMP Shatters. Yeah. Let me get in position. Let me get in position.
You switch over to EMP Shatter.
Devo's up top, drop down.
EMP Shatter, unless Lucio's hiding around the corner, which he actually is right now. Shatter alone is more than enough to kill them all.
Devo John, drop down.
I do have
One more
Shatter.
second, dude. I'm not there.
Yep.
He'll run.
You already got a nade in. That's huge. In fact, you got a great comp to get off of Shatter right now alone, because all you need is either a hack on the Rhine or Doomfist punches him and just stuns him. All you need is one stun on the Rhine, and you get this big fatty shatty, and it's gonna hit everybody.
Yep.
I got hit.
Where's Doom right now? Doom's over here. He could E in behind the team right now and uppercut the Rhine, and then you shatter. Where's Sombra? Sombra's over here. She's kind of doing nothing over here. She's also uncloaked for some reason. She can be invisible behind their team on the payload. She could be doing a lot more than she's doing right now over here.
Wait, 4 more seconds.
Alright.
Are you ready?
She's looking for the EMP. Their Grav comes out.
Yep. Do it.
Big EMP. Your Lucio also comes out. Let me see, was anybody low?
Wait, 4 more seconds.
Alright.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I mean, you didn't really need the Lucio ult because of the EMP. I mean, look at your health bars before the Grav. Everybody's pretty much full health except for E10 for some reason.
Alright.
Oh, there you go.
Are you ready?
Grav comes out, but then you're gonna EMP right now. So you know that EMP's coming. They won't be able to use support ults. You're about to get out of the Grav. They're not going to be able to put much damage into you because you have shield and you're EMPing them.
Yep. Do it.
Didn't really need it. I'm fine with them using it, but in a higher level game, that could be an issue. But now, into this fight, you've put 3 ultimates rather than what could have just been Sombra ult.
Nice.
Send. Sorry.
D3 coach beats as soon as he hears Russian. And I mean, that's kind of what he's holding his ult for, so it's not a huge deal. But I'm just pointing out, you know, the kind of things that you need to think about at a higher tier. And I'm not going to treat you like plats and diamonds. I'm going to treat you like a higher tier team, because the only way you're going to get to be a higher tier team is to be treated like a higher tier team and improve to, you know, meet those standards, you know what I mean?
Sorry, X.
Oh.
Good. Oh man, that was close.
Obviously, I'll be a little lenient on some mechanics and things and positioning and whatnot, but
Oh, we have media.
But I'm gonna point these mistakes out to you.
Build media strike for a media strike Grav combo.
Okay,
And then if that doesn't work, then we can nano.
yeah, they're gonna have shatter. And bomb.
Let's try to get a hack on them.
Oops.
Again, this is one of those points where, with all this, I already pointed out that you guys should go Winston Diva with this comp, but with all this high ground over here, and here, and I think that's pretty much it. But all this high ground, you could be taking advantage of Winston Diva, rather than forcing fights with ultimates, which you just used 3, so now you're at a disadvantage. You do have Grav and you do have Nano. You could be going into the next fight looking for Grav Nano, which would force out support alts, which would also build Sirentis's Shatter. I would probably just... Well, they don't have Reinhold yet, and if you're tracking that, you would know that. But I would probably just use Grav here to bait out the support alts, and then Nano Rhine to follow up after the support ults so that he can build his shatter. You slam them, and then bam, boom, bop, they're all dead. What do they got? They got Bomb, and they got Lucio. Almost at Zen.
Oh, I have mine. Whenever you're ready.
Just point out. There's like 3 separate fights happening.
Alright.
Grab is eaten here, I think. Rip. Where are you? You're here? Their Diva's here.
I'm dead.
Hey, we keep grabbing in around.
Okay.
Oof. Oof. So when you're about to grab, you need to always be aware of where the diva is, because she's going to be looking to matrix that shit. I don't think she even intended to matrix it. I think she was just, I don't know, aimlessly hoping to help right over here. I don't think it was intentional. I have a bad habit. Well, here's your habit to break on Zarya. If you got an ultimate that's kind of a very big ultimate, look at the enemy team and see what could prevent your ultimate of having value. Well, they got 2 support ults and they got a diva. Well, the issue that we just faced is that not only did you waste Grav and it get eaten, but they still have both their support ults. So you didn't even bait those out, which is really shitty. Of launching Gravs too far instead of aiming at the ground close to them. Even then, even if you aimed at the ground here, she was already matrixing, it would still have gotten eaten. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. She's in range of matrixing a Grav. Doesn't matter. One thing that I do, and other Zaryas at a higher tier do, when they're looking to grab and there's a diva on the enemy team, they're going to know that. They're going to track your ults, and they're going to know that you're looking to grab here, right? They'll position themselves up on a high ground or something, or, you know, in a spot where they can matrix your grab. You have 2 options. Either get her out of mech, which can be difficult if you can't force her to come to you, or you can bait her matrix. And so something I'll do is I'll have the team focus her a little bit. She puts up her matrix for a second, sees that I'm not grabbing it, she puts it down immediately because she needs to make sure that she has it for when I do go to grab, right? So she puts it, she flashes it for a second. Well, in that split second of her flashing, there's a cooldown, a whole like second and a half where she can't put it back up again until that cooldown's gone. So the second that goes down, I grab that bitch. And there's nothing she could do because she's not able to put the matrix back up in time. But yeah. Yeah, DM is on a 1 second cooldown, so as soon as you see it down, you can grab. Yeah. That being said, it's very easy if you fuck up the timing or if you have high ping. Very easy to instead feed her that grab. So you gotta be careful, right? You should still look for opportunities to grab without having to bait out the matrix. A good example is just, well, you can't really do it here. You're not in a position to really do it here. But if you were, let's say, playing at this corner and their team was pushed up here and your Ryan's here, you walk inside this room right here and you grab the wall. She can't matrix through a wall, so they all get sucked to the wall and they're pretty much fucked. Nothing they can do.
You got eaten.
Also, don't look so obvious. One thing you need to work on is not looking like you're obviously going for a grab.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
They know that you probably have it if they were tracking ultimates. And they see this aggressive play that you're now doing which typically Zarya's only one past a Rhine shield if one of two things. They're going to bubble themselves and get ult or get charge, or they're going to grab somebody. So you've made this very obvious by walking into them past your Rhine shield. Try not to look so obvious. Instead, you could have sort of, actually, if you had come to the left here, the left side of your Rhine, you could have grabbed him and D.Va wouldn't even be in range. And it also wouldn't have been very clear. But instead, you go all the way over here, your Rhine gets pushed back here, and D.Va's just like, oh, she's gonna grab. I'm gonna put up my DM, and bloop, it's gone. Your Zarya just nailed Rhine. Rip. They still have both their support ults, by the way. Zen's probably gonna ult here, maybe not. Oof.
Back up.
You guys just used 2 ultimates, got no value, your tank's fed, and then they still have all their support ults. Rip. They didn't have to use anything but D.Va Bomb that fight. Unlucky.
They only have one on point. We can
what's the next plan? Can we solo Doomfist, or do you want to EMP it? I don't know if EMP helps.
Are you able to get a hack off on the Reinhardt from high ground?
Oh yeah.
So I can shatter for free?
Contest.
I'm on.
No, I can't.
So it's really, really difficult to make plans when you're engaging into the fight. You don't really want to have to put brain power into thinking about ultimates while the fight's happening, which is why immediately after the fight's done or people are dead, you need to start thinking about ultimates. You need to start thinking, make these plans quickly, quick, get it out there, so that lol, I learned that last night, yeah. So that you don't have to think about it in the fight. You just know what's going to happen. You know what you're going to do. So let's back it up.
They only have one on point.
Here's where you lost the fight. It's at 3:13. Let's see how long it takes you to start planning ults.
Back up. They're pushing up. They only have one on point. We can
what's the next plan? Do we need
about 14 seconds spent in silence. Lol, the silence. There should never be silence. You guys should never be quiet. XD. Yeah. Fights lost. Your tanks are dead. Immediately. Okay, shit. What else do they have? What do we have? What are we gonna use? What's our win condition? Right? Instead, we start thinking about it as we're spawning. It's sort of fine because you still got a little bit of time to get to the point, but look how long it takes you to
Can we solo Doomfist, or do you want to EMP it? I don't know if EMP helps.
Are you able to get a hack off on the Reinhardt from high ground?
Oh yeah.
So I can shatter for free?
Contest.
I'm on.
So that's like another 10 seconds there of you guys planning, but then you're also engaging, which makes it even harder to plan. So that's like a good, 20 seconds of no plans actually being made. So I'm getting it.
I can't.
And then you go into the fight, and then you just lose, because you guys don't have a plan, you're just fucking rolling in, because you gotta contest the point, so...
I got shattered, they're focusing me.
Luckily, you guys use no ults, right?
I can get an EMP if you want.
I'm backing it.
Back up.
Yeah, regroup.
You didn't use any ults? Fantastic! At least you're going into the next fight with some ults. That being said, they still have both support ults, so they're about to get another one. They're on the way to bomb and grav. You guys have an EMP. You got Doom. You got Ryan. You got Nano. You're about to have Lucio. Great. Let's see.
Reinhardt is going to be about 40% to another Earth Shatter. They're going to use. They already have Grav, and they're probably about 60% to another bomb.
I got my ult ready.
You see me counting here?
EMP Shatter.
Yeah, you.
I think.
Fuck!
Cancel
What
out.
happened? Why did it? Why did it? Fuck! I pressed spacebar. The fuck? But you saw me counting there of how long it took you to formulate your plan. Like you started recognizing what ults they have. Fantastic. But look how long it took you to come up with a plan. Where's the fight loss? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't EMP. Okay. Fight's lost. You guys are out. You guys are regrouping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Reinhardt is going to be about
11. You start looking at their ultimates. Good. Be quicker.
40%
12,
to another
13,
Earth Shatter.
14,
They're
15,
going to use. They
16,
already have Grav,
17,
and they're probably about
18,
60% to another
19,
bomb.
20, 21, 22,
I got my ult
23,
ready.
24,
So we
25,
EMP Shatter.
26. EMP Shatter! 26 seconds to do that. I'm going to put a sticky note to my PC as a reminder. Seriously, it's so much apparent when you point it out. 26 seconds just spent to figure out what your win condition is. Granted, it's also one that I don't really like because it's two potential team-wide ultimates being used at the same time. But that's something you talk about after the game. The biggest problem in the game right now is just using your time to get to that plan. It took you 26 seconds just to, you know, do something that should be as simple as pressing tab, seeing what we got, thinking about what the enemy has, and then bam, done. You gotta be snappy. Gotta be snappy. And then keep in mind they still have both support ults. So if your Sombra doesn't get both supports in this hack, they're gonna survive this fight. So you got to keep that in mind. So that's another reason why you need to be focusing on what ults they have. If either of them aren't, and the Brig included now because she has her ult as well. If any of these heroes, right, are not in the hack, you're fucked. You better be a fat shatter, and you better land a fat nade.
Yeah, EMP Shatter, that's good.
They're grouped up now, so. Yep.
Good, because that's gonna hit everybody. Never mind, is Zen hacked? He is hacked. Little arrow came up. So everyone's hacked. I just want to point out how close you were to not hacking Zen. Woo-hoo. Look at that bubble. There's the line, right? So he got hacked and then he backed up out of it. But had he not been hacked, all he does is pop ultimate and just go into the center of his team, wait it out, they stand back up, and then we're back into a 6v6 fight, and your team's out of position because they pushed up to engage into the EMP. So just keep that in mind.
Nice.
Big shatter though. Do they get naded?
Huge.
Big nade? Big nade? Where's the nade? Where's the nade? No nade. Shit. You got an Ana. You need that nade. It's important.
EMP Shatter, that's good.
They're grouped up now, so. Yep.
And think of how long it took you to plan this this win condition. It's more than enough time for Ananade to come off cooldown. I'm not gonna like harp on Lucky. She's obviously not GM Ana, but that's something that you gotta always have in the back of your mind is I want to get a fat nade off because they're all gonna be on the ground. Diva's not gonna be able to eat it. There's no reason you shouldn't get a fat nade off here. Everyone's hacked already. I'd be throwing a nade at them regardless of the shatter.
Nice, huge.
Cyrantis isn't here, but he likes to charge right after shatters. Would it be better to do some damage swinging before the charge? I feel like the charge here took him far from everybody on the ground. Yes. Simple as that, yes. Okay. There is a... What is it? 3 second? I think it's 3 seconds. Let me back up.
EMP shatter.
Yeah, EMP shatter.
Let me
It'll
wait
group up
for the
now,
shatter so I can
Yep.
show you. So, with shatter, there's this propagation wave that you can actually see it. There's a little wavy, fiery thing that happens, and it goes out this way, and it does it in like a like that kind of thing. But there's this big wave that comes out. It takes there's a maybe it's 6 seconds. 6 seconds by the time the shatter goes off until Reinhardt can start getting ult charge again. You don't get ult charge until they start standing back up. There's that animation that they do, and when they start standing back up is when you can start getting ult charge again as Reinhardt. One thing you can do is throw a fire strike through multiple squishies on their team. Then you swing a bit and maybe kill a few. But then when it comes to the end of the fire strike and everyone starts standing up, charge a tank. Charge a tank into a wall. If you can land a charge on like this diva, for example, into the wall, you're gonna get back like 25% more ult charge. What does he actually do here? He just charges.
Nice, huge.
See this? This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Already 21% from that one charge. Great. That being said, he could have had all of these heroes already low from a fire strike and a couple swings, and then still did this charge on the diva, for example, or it could have been this Rhine, but it could have been a short pin into a wall rather than this long charge that put him all the way over here, away from the team. I've been telling all of our tryouts that, but I haven't told Cyrantis yet. Yep, things to work on. Yeah, so you guys, one thing a lot of teams, in fact my team's working on this, but a lot of things that teams don't realize is that when you set up these win conditions and these combos, everybody in the team has a role to play. EMP, or Sombra comes in with the EMP. She then proceeds to shoot people. Reinhardt hammers the enemy team. He then proceeds to do damage. I was pointing out the nade. Ana can throw her nade into it, and then she proceeds to do damage, and then she can also chain stun somebody with a sleep right after they stand up from the shatter. Lucio speeds the team in and then does damage. I'm looking at the wrong fucking team. Doesn't matter. Doomfist comes off the high ground, starts doing Doomfist things, right? Sombra might go for another hack after they start standing up. Zarya's looking to build ult charge as fast as possible. She's just dealing damage into tanks. She should be throwing more bombs than anything because they'd be all grouped up from the shatter, but throwing bombs to build ult charge as fast as possible, because in this whole during the shatter, she can build a lot of free ult charge. But everybody has their role in these combos, even if they're not directly related to the big outcome. If they're not, the Sombra EMPing or the Rhine hacking, there's still, everybody has a role to play to follow up on. I need to remember to reload before combos. A lot of the time we get a shatter or something and I'm stuck reloading. See, that's exactly the kind of thing you got to think about. You need to think about, shit, I need my bubbles for this upcoming combo. Shit, I need my fire strike off of cooldown so I can throw the fire strike into people after they're shattered. I need to be in a position where I can repeatedly hack people as they're standing up out of the shatter. I need to have my Anonade off of cooldown so that I can throw it into this. I need to have my amp speed so that I can speed my team into them while they're shattered. You need to be thinking about these all of the time, and that's part of the reason why you want to come up with these pre-game plans beforehand, so that you know that it's coming. You know what your cooldowns are, and you need to give yourself the time to get your abilities off of cooldown before the engagement even happens. Like, remember, there was like 26 seconds before this whole engagement even happened, right? 26 seconds is enough time for all of your team to have all of their abilities off of cooldown. So when you finally go in for the EMP, everybody should be able to follow up. See what I'm getting at? Lol, shit, I need to amp speed. Shit, I need to throw an aid. Oh, fuck, I need to EMP now, etc. Omega lol. Exactly. You don't want to waste all your cooldowns and all your abilities before, you know, your big, massive combo goes off, because then what are you going to do in the fight? Well, you're going to be stuck reloading. They're going to stand back up and kill you, right? So, things to keep in mind.
I'm on the break behind us.
Zodiac kills our.
Jumped off.
Brig jumped off. Good that they finished the Zarya there, though Lucio's doing this kind of alone, but yeah.
Sorry, one. Nice.
Nice.
Pick up. Nice. Yeah.
End of the fight. What's the problem here?
Zodiac kills our.
He jumped off.
Jumped.
Sorry, one. Nice. Pick up.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Got his mini haps.
I can wait, or I can try to pick off like, or big trends even.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna try to look up.
Do you see how clearly you can hear me pour my coffee into my cup and sip my drink because there's no other audio really happening? Did you notice that?
Look for a focus on the diva so we can grab.
Ryan, I'm gonna bubble you in the address.
Yep.
I was a little early, my bad.
Also, you still haven't made a plan.
Back up, Ryan.
Yep, I'm back in.
There's that grab. They bombed it. You get stunned and die to the bomb. Unlucky.
D-backs.
Use your
Boostio!
grab combo, guys. Grab combo. Oh, never mind.
I don't even have grab.
Boostio! Big boots from Boostio.
Boostio stall. Oh, nice boop.
I almost.
So you guys, you didn't make a plan. You wasted ultimates. And you all slowly died.
Booped their Zen off the map, but he trans.
I'm close to another EMP.
Wait, he tranced? Nice. At least they got trans out. But
Alright.
I mean, they still have Lucio. They're about to have another brig ult. You guys got nada. You're about to have Shatter, about to have EMP. You do have Doom. Grav's a little ways away. Lol, they were calling Grav combo and I didn't even have it. Did they?
I almost booped their Zen off the map, but he trans.
I'm close to another EMP.
Alright.
I almost have another shatter too. So
Okay.
Right now, Epic is VM. Epic on your team is MVP because he's the only person to call out his ultimate before everybody else, which is important. It's important because it focuses the team and starts getting them thinking about what ults everybody has. It's like, shit, oh right, wake up! Wake up! The fight's not over! Let's think about ults. What do they have? What do we have? What are we doing? Shit. Okay, I have Shatter. Fantastic!
I can... No, okay. We should... We can eat...
Immediately after I died, I was screaming grab now. Really? I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. They still have Lucio beat.
EMP Shatter again.
Run aggress.
I got
their Shatter. Your Ana's dead. You do have EMP. Their Lucio's almost dead.
Oh, you be on.
Their Lucio's been sitting on that fucking... that ultimate all game. He hasn't used it yet.
Oh,
Big slam! Where's the nade?
cancel beat.
Where's the nade? Oh, right. Ana's dead. Shit.
Call a target.
Diva, or break
They're jumping there, they're sitting.
Sounds annoying, but that was a good call. Call a target, because then you guys started focusing.
Team kill.
So they lost. They used.
One thing I'm trying to get my team to do now, like, we did a shit job last night. I think we were just all asleep last night. I'm gonna be honest. I played like ass. But, one thing I'm trying to get my team to work on is, making reminder calls. Like, hey, we're not saying anything, and we're not getting anything done as a result. So, what else do they have? Good call. Call a target. Good call. I have this ultimate. Good calls.
Shatter and they lost their beat.
I canceled their beat. I was so happy. You did? Did you do it with EMP?
Diva, or
Oh, you be on.
Oh, with the Shatter. Nice.
oh, cancel beat.
They,
I got.
Oh, you be on.
had he gotten that beat off, I think you would have lost this fight. So nice.
Cancel the beat.
Call a target.
Diva, or break.
They're jumping there, they're sitting.
Team kill.
So they lost. They used Shatter and they lost their beat. So
Yep.
Yeah.
plan for another grab. Oh, they
McCree.
super Cree.
I'm gonna sit in a safe spot this time. When you're ready for grab, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, play just a little bit forward with me.
So you didn't actually say it, though. You should have said it. You're looking for Grav Doomfist ult right now. Is the assumption made? Because your Doomfist is telling you, I'm in a safer position right now. Let me know when you Grav. Yada yada. Good. I do think it's a good idea to Deaver. I keep saying, what is wrong with me? Don't worry about it. I do think it's important to say the combo so that your entire team is aware, even if they're not really paying attention. Like, they hear the combo and they start to think about what they need to do during the combo. Like, I need to have my Ana grenade. I need to have my Lucio speed. I need to have,
I'm gonna play over here
It's important to keep everybody on your team awake.
so that they can't like crowd control me.
Let me know.
They're rallying in. If you want to grab now.
Got it.
You're dead. I'm stuck.
Meteor strike.
Got the brig. Nice. Not the ideal target, but got him.
Break that.
Nice.
Also, Sombra asleep back here, lol.
Ryan's done.
Right.
At minimum, at least being slept. Call, I don't know, sleep.
On the run. Zari.
You have no support. Nice.
Was that Lucky saying you have no support, no support?
X.
Or who was saying, was it they have no support or we have no support?
Some steps.
Good finish.
Lucio fucking overextended.
We can stagger them here. Nope, never mind.
60
They have a
seconds.
crease sombra.
Back, yeah.
All right.
I got
They're EMP, so they're gonna probably try to grab and then high noon, hack B and then high noon.
They don't have grav, they don't have high noon. They don't have anything. They're about to have nano.
I'm trying to get my EP.
Yeah.
All tracking comes with practice.
I don't count on me getting it though.
The real problem is, what are you guys doing this fight?
I'm stuck.
Watch out.
That's the second time in under a minute that he just got slapped by the fucking rip.
Oh my goodness. I'm hacked.
One thing I'll say to your Sombra player, if you're in a situation where you're frequently having issues from something like that, the Ana's just fucking nuts and she keeps sleeping you. If you're having an issue like that, instead, go play with your front line and give them an advantage. Try and hack their tank so that your front line has an advantage. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to go for the back line.
30 seconds.
Okay, I got it right. Please, right side. Watch the high noon. Don't let her rank.
I got EMP right.
Alright, ready.
Hang on. No.
What's the plan? EMP Nano Ryan? EMP Nano Ryan? Their Ana was like mid-master, I think.
No. The right side.
Somewhere behind.
Here's another thing. Another reason why you want to talk about what combos you're using. Lucio, like especially if you're gonna nano Rhine, Lucio needs to be with the Rhine, speeding him to his targets. Because remember, Rhine is very not mobile. He can charge in here, but they can just run away if they're smart. So speed.
Nice, guys.
He does join eventually, but he's also on healing, and Rhine just nanos over.
This is touching.
Felt like she was there, Carrie.
Yes, yeah.
Wait, what?
This is touching.
Did they just see 9?
Yes, yeah.
Did he reflect the grav? Wait. That's their grav. Wait. Wait. I'm looking at the wrong colors. That's the issue. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we got all of you.
Or good round.
You're blue, they're red. I'm mixing up colors. Zarya tossed it and she was dying. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. They lost the fight. Okay. I was looking at it like, wait, is that them, the blue team? But the colors confused me. That's my fault.
3-2. Switching sides.
Yeah.
You guys want to run Doom Sombra again?
Sure.
Initiating match.
Yeah, that worked real well to open up the shatter combo and
Coming up, we will be red.
Because every time we EMP it works.
Actually, you're
Yep.
blue. Did they reset the map? They didn't even bother. Don't get confused now, Womp. Map reset? There you go.
Oh, sorry. I reset it, yeah.
Now you're red.
I mean, they almost got it at the end, so.
Blizzard world.
Still.
Eh, still.
Yeah.
You still want to get the full practice on the whole map.
Why does Siren change your profile pic so much?
What's with, I noticed this last night while I was, watching you guys scrim. What's with the one guy who keeps making the fucking Jonak comments in the chat? What's with that? Eventually I'll move the camera low. I don't know. Is that a meme that I missed out on? I was over it.
Let's push open from the left side when we're pushing up on.
All right. Go left under.
It was not one guy, it was the
also
entire
talk to
team.
Siren if you want to go to the
I don't get it.
review or
don't get
you're
the
not
meme.
like enjoying
Even their coach and subs.
it. We have another person who could come and fill the lot.
I feel like they're making. I can't tell if they're being toxic or not. I don't get the meme.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
5, 4,
Feels bad, man.
2, 1.
So they're running Zen Goats. Okay. I can see how Zen Goats can work here on defense. Trying to get in our head. Oh, I mean, this is a scrim. What's the point? This is a learning time. This isn't try to get into people's heads time. Trying to make us subconsciously think their Zen is a good. Oh, Goat's defense was. Well, I could see how it could work. Problem is, the same thing I said on the other map. They're on defense. Their spawn's way over here. That's a long way to go to get back to the point. They can't really make swaps. You guys can. Your spawn's right here. You only have to go this. I mean, it looks a lot longer, or it looks a lot shorter than it is, but you do have spawn advantage. This is not dead center between the two spawns. All you have to do is swap over to pharmacy and then rip. That's the issue, is that there is no counter swaps that they can really make. This would be different if they were trying to run some May strat shit. Problem is, the point is very much out in the open, and there's nothing that can contest it. There's no like little doorway, hallway area where they can contest with the May, so this is just kind of bad idea.
This is Lucio, man.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
It'll be great on the first push if you guys don't swap immediately, but the second you recognize that they're Goats comp,
They got a 5
you
strike.
guys should be going. You guys should be making swaps.
Lucio.
It's like your diva flies up in the air, sees what they're running. Oh, there's Zen Goats. Let's just walk back to spawn and swap. Pick up pharmacy. Bam. Easy claps. There's not even like a point to poke right now because all you're doing is feeding Ultra.
And
Alright, I have bubble for you.
yep. Oops, backing up.
Granted, Somber Doom is arguably really good against Goats here, but you also have Ryan Czar, who are, again, that's something that you guys should have swapped earlier.
I'm going to get
Barrier's real low. Hold on.
Max charge.
Alright.
You can play it slow, recharge shield.
I like where your Sombra is right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right hacked.
Probably could have waited on that hack.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't have.
See, by the time your team push in, he's already no longer hacked, and they've turned around and poked at Sombra.
Anything to punish.
So comp to practice next time we are all 6 is Sombra Doom, but with dive. Yep, do it. Do keep in mind the map geometry. You need to have high ground for dive to make sense. If you're playing on a flat area into Goats, probably not a good idea. Yeah.
Max charge.
Alright.
You can play it slow,
So you can make this work here. What I want you guys to do though is do a maybe a countdown, or just say I'm going in, and as the Rhine pushes in, Sombra hacks their Rhine. You hack their Rhine, or you hack their Zarya, or you hack their Diva, and then you just roll over them. Probably their Rhine. Rhine's probably the best target. You wait for the bubble, and then you just hack Rhine. And then your front line has an advantage with his shield being unavailable to him.
Crit shield.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
But you hack him there, and your team's not really able to position in a way to put damage into that Rhine yet.
Run hacks.
Oh.
Okay.
Also, your front line's split. Yeah, 3 people over here, 2 people here, and then Sombra here. I do like poking goats from all sides, but your, at minimum, off tank needs to be with your main tank. Where is he? Here? Something like that?
I don't have anything.
Yeah. Right now, your off tank and main tank are coming from separate angles, and if they were paying attention, they could have just pushed one side and killed them, and then wrapped around and killed the others. Because you guys are split, and it would have been very easy to roll 6v3 or 6v2 versus, you know. I will say that the split was intentional to poke from side. I got lucky, I think, but I'll stay with Ryan next time. If they were better, they would have just recognized that your Zarya was not with your Rhine, and they would have just rolled one of the two.
Punish him with.
Oh,
That's fine.
Nice.
Brick low.
Yep.
We're dead.
Never mind.
Run
Run
hacks.
one.
Diva.
You guys win this? Nice.
Sorry.
nice.
And I don't know what the Diva's doing here. She could have contested longer at minimum.
He was still alive.
You have Genji now?
Should be set.
No, she's not.
Genji, no brig.
I'll argue that you guys won that fight because they're bad.
No. 3, 2, 1.
Stop the payload.
Alright, pushing up on the frontier. They're still in Zen. And yeah, Genji.
I like that Sombra's already pushed up behind them. I like that your tanks are pushing ahead of the point, demanding some map control.
Give me 1 second, I do not.
Genji's Pylon.
I'm not sure what your Lucio's doing right now. This has been a theme. Want being toxic? What do you mean? It's not toxic if it's true.
I can't be ready.
Alright. Just group up first.
Also, they're not really like grouped as goats here. They're not really doing this right. They should all be using cover to their advantage and all playing on top of Reinhardt. Maybe Diva the exception. She could sort of play on the high ground, but...
Alright.
One thing you could also do right now is Doom can go up to this high ground and look for an angle to either delete a squishy or displace the Rhine so that you guys can get off Shatter.
Ready, whenever. Nope.
No.
Just group up first. Alright. Ready, whenever.
What? Sirentis, you should be shattered right now. I just want you to know. And you would be. If not for the fact that their Reinhardt fucked it up. Look at the line from the propagation wave. If he wasn't bad, you would be shattered as well. You dropped your shield.
Alright. Just group up first. All right, ready when I...
Did he wait for you to fire strike? What did you do? Nope, you're just swinging your hammer. You're just swinging the hammer, and sure, you probably fucked up because you're ping, but that's kind of an issue to be on Rhine and then not be able to block a shadow like that. Big EMP, right? Who does it hit?
Just group up first. All right, ready whenever.
Also, just positioning wise, there's no reason that you should be this far away from this corner. Seems minor, but the difference is you shielding your team, actually. Like, even, like, because you're, like, right here, right? And the propagation wave goes, like, right here. Even if you manage to block something and your shield was up, everybody over here still gets shattered, right? You being here prevents that. You, well, being here, right? You want to play angles so that it forces the enemy team to have less of a... well, think about this like you're playing Widow, right? You want to close angles on people. He's peeking around this corner, and so is the rest of their team for that matter. But look at their line of sight on you. They see you from this direction, this direction, this direction. So like, think about how you can maximize your shield usage right now. If you have your shield up right now, you're only shielding like this. So they can still shoot people in your back line because your shield isn't shielding anybody. Try to put it in a place where nobody's getting value. This Zarya should also be closer to the wall. Take advantage of the map geometry, right? Womp making me relive my moment of shame over and over, Pepe hands. Your whole team gets shattered except for Zarya, who's arguably out of position. And she could, your Zarya could be potentially trying to just stay with the Rhine. This is something we have problems with, is sometimes my Reinhardt will be out of position and I'll be trying to support him, and as a result I'm out of position, which is often an issue. Your shatter comes out. I wanted to see who got EMP'd.
First. All right, ready whenever. Nope. Just group up first. All right.
I wish I had angled the camera a little bit better here.
Nope.
I think so. Rhine is shattered, or Rhine is hacked. Diva's hacked. I'm not sure if Zen is, but maybe. He was somewhere over here in this region, and it ends right, like right there somewhere, right on this. But he could be a little bit further this way. Zarya, I think, was behind this dildo thing. He is, you can tell by the HP. Huh? What do you mean? He's got armor though.
I do not.
Did you Cylon?
Oop.
No.
Actually, I don't think Ryan got hacked. I think he was bubbled. Zen and Zara lose shield health with EMP. You said Zen. Oh, you're talking about Zen getting hacked. Oh, okay, you're right. He gets hacked. I think Ryan's fine
Go ahead.
because of that bubble.
D-Vac, still D-Vac, extra hacks.
Run into.
You guys are big.
You guys win the fight. Doesn't really matter.
Good, I guess. Good job.
Team kill.
Alright,
Alright,
I'll wait.
did they use anything?
Do you shatter?
They use shatter? Okay, then I have Blade coming up, bomb. They'll definitely have Grav and support.
You're making
ults.
plans! Nice!
Yeah, look for Nano Blade.
You're making plans
Look at
before the
Doomfist,
fight.
Doomfist, that goes to chance.
Whoa,
Doomfist
Mini.
Grav.
Yeah. Okay.
Minus one.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
Grabbing in 3.
Alright, dead.
Got it.
You initiated. You started a countdown, but then you just trailed off there. Keep counting down, just in case. Nice. One reason I don't like Doom Grav.
Yep.
Grabbing
Let me show you.
in 3.
Alright, dead.
2, 1.
Got it.
Zing comes in. One reason I don't like, well, so I say 3 to get E10 ready, but just do it. The 3 is more of me saying, grabbing soon, lol. Either finish the countdown or just say something along the lines of, I'm looking for Grav. That's what I do. But... Oh, he kills the Zarya. Pog. That's huge. That's huge because of what I was just about to talk about, which I was about to blame on the enemy Zar for being bad. Because I'm watching the bubble usage here.
Let me know when you're ready.
Use the bubbles, but wait.
Grabbing in 3.
Alright, dead.
By the time this Grav happens, bubbles are about to be coming off of cooldown. But because he manages to get the Zarya, Zarya is not able to bubble in the Grav. Had she bubbled in the Grav, it would have blocked Doomult. Look at
Got it.
how they're grabbed. If Zarya was right here, she bubbles, covers up the Yana. She bubbles Ryan, covers up anybody else in the Grav. But this is why I don't like Doom Grav, is because even if Doom gets in and gets right into the center of the team, a couple bubbles solves the problem. And then you also have a high charge Zarya. As soon as we get to the most interesting part, the internet dies again. Fickin' heck. Rip.
Nice job.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind next time we try and combo. If you are going to go for that combo, Grav after you saw Zarya use your bubbles. That should be a good habit that you're going for anyways, is look for Zarya to use her bubbles so that she can't save anybody in the Grav.
Ryan's in the back. Nice.
If you're using Hanzo ult, you don't have to worry about it because the Hanzo ult's so long, it outlasts the bubbles. But when it comes to other ultimates that are burst damage, that are instant, Doom ult, Diva Bomb, Pulse, I don't know, any kind of instant burst damage, any of that, you need to watch for Zarya bubbles and make sure that she uses them so that she can't save people.
Stand low.
D.Va top.
And yeah, you have top behind.
Do it. No, D.Va not hacks.
What the fuck? I think I noticed this while I was watching the scrim and I was just like, forehead.
D.Va's at D.Va's.
The fucking Grav here.
In the back. Nice.
Stand low.
Okay. He throws the grav from spawn. Had I been on your team, granted, they don't have to worry about it because you don't have a diva. But had I been on your team and you're running Winston diva, like you probably should be, I could have done, you know, fucking 10 360s and still eaten that graph. Because she threw it from there. Yeah.
Diva top?
And yeah, you can top behind.
Diva, no, Diva not hacked.
Огонь по готовности.
Diva's at Diva's.
Also, she only got Ryan. Which isn't the greatest target in the world to grab unless you're gonna follow up somehow. Oh, played. But hack comes out. Big hack! Big hack! MVP epic over here with the EMP on the blade. Nice. I don't really think the blade would have saved them, but
Zaryak.
Finish up.
Excuse me.
Point. Just get that right.
Alright, I'm 60 to another grav. We...
they're switching over to Creeko.
they have a McCree now?
She alone.
Or maybe
They
not.
nano bladed, right?
She went back.
Yeah,
She
the
went back.
nano bladed
Did they nanoblade her?
I will say that, okay, this is not Kree comp. Genji would be on break if it was, and you would have a Zen. But if they were going to Kree comp, keep in mind, Kree comp is really damn good against Sombra and Doom. Sombra and Doom can't really do much against a Kree comp. Sombra comes in, but then she either gets bashed by Brig or she gets stunned by McCree, which is why you run the double stun in a McCree comp.
They just regular.
They nano bladed.
Alright.
Okay,
Really
so they'll have
difficult to
Diva
get shit
and,
done when you're running a
Lucy
McCree
ult.
comp.
They probably have another shatter.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
McCree no flash.
I'll try and double the stun if he flashes you. We could just,
Throw my translocator.
I can
Just
Back up.
I can like punch and then you can shatter.
Yep. We're down right now and I'm very low shield. I need back up.
I'll back up, but just let me know when.
I like that call. There you go.
Wanna go
Setting up a
left
team wipe ultimate without using another ultimate. That's great.
and
Around.
Double outside.
Yeah, let's do left side.
we're gonna have the combo again, Doomfist combo.
Anna's on the far left here.
Okay.
They're speeding her out.
Okay.
Alright. Nope, they stunned me.
Oof.
Yeah.
They used two ults there.
I thought you guys said don't do left side. And I was like, yeah, that's one.
Huge
No, I said
spawn
they were
advantage.
Alright, so
Or spawn advantage,
do you want
ult
me to call
advantage
punch, or do you
right
call
now.
punch?
You call punch. Just cut down, yeah.
They'll have beat though, they'll have beat.
Yeah, give it a second. I'm walking
Okay.
in.
Yeah, they might. It's okay though, cause we can bait that and then after grab.
Run out. Right. No time.
Our Lucio's about to flame us here. Oh, really?
It's okay though, cause
You guys have beat and they have blade. Good.
we can bait that and then after.
Looks like they go for a sneaky shatter.
Grab.
Run.
Runs hacked.
Right.
He goes into this room. I remember watching this and thinking about this when I was watching you guys. I think you turn out fine.
No time. McCree dead.
Can you see what the problem was there?
We can bait that and then after grab.
Run out. Right. No time. McCree dead.
Can anybody see what the problem is here without No, he flamed us for going left. That was stupid without saying anything first. 2020 hindsight.
We can bait that
Keep an eye on their Reinhardt.
and then after grab.
And then keep an eye on all the people that can see Reinhardt.
Grab.
Run out. No time.
Now keep in mind all the people that walk past where we just saw Reinhardt go.
McCree dead.
Run, hunt.
Bait that and then after grab. Grab.
Run out.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You all saw Ryan. You're all to blame. He could have been called down. I got pinned across the map, lol. Yes, he did. Also, Shatter comes out. They do get a big okay Shatter. But I think Lucio's on heal here. I don't know. But you guys need speed. You need to get in there. Do shit.
No time.
Instead, High Noon does go off. Like, even if you're holding up the shield, Lucio can speed you into this. And then you guys just kill McCree real quick, and then you follow up with the rest of their team, right? But, yeah. Speed! Get the fuck in! Let's go! Right? Instead, you do kill the Cree, but then this happens.
McCree dead.
Run, hunt.
I'm pinned.
So now, not only is whoever that is now dead, because nobody called out the Rhine, but Rhine is now with this team as 5v4.
I'm pinned in.
Genji.
And the Nano the Rhine.
Genji dead.
Nice.
Anna 1.
Anna.
Ryan sleeping.
Anna dead.
Nice.
Good run, get the run.
Get the run.
Nice point.
Got one.
You guys did pretty okay there, considering that should have been a straight loss fight. Sombra killed McCree while he was standing, still channeling, yeah.
Someone that's nice.
IBMP ready for this next one?
I have my ult.
Divas up top, no boosters.
Alright.
Genji on card.
Whenever you're ready.
We get this.
Genji no deflect.
Oof. You guys used Doom, or Lucio beat. You used beat, which sucks because they have Blade.
It's just
Also, you grabbed Lucio. Lucio does die. Good.
Can manage.
One.
There.
McCree dead.
He's anti.
Genji X.
Nice! You pulled off a combo. It wasn't intentional. You didn't call it. You didn't plan it. But you shattered them because they turned around to shield the bomb.
Can manage.
Agree one.
There.
McCree dead. Genji X.
Nice.
That was my bad. I was way in front.
At least you had mentally checked out for this map
I think
walk.
we have it.
Oh, I know.
Should have it.
I know.
Lucio.
He's hacked.
McCree's coming out.
Nice. Good job.
And you get the cap.
Really well there.
Pog.
Yeah, that was huge. Huge combos.
Epic MVP, by the way. Oh, but that was Blizzard World. Do you have any questions, any comments, anything you want me to go over, any thoughts? What do you got for me before I call it quits here? Remember he said that playing Lucio first was a waste of time, that he could have been doing VOD reviews and said he shouldn't have joined in to be a ringer for a team as a support if he wasn't happy with playing it. Fuck that guy. Thanks to the VOD reviews, it means a lot. Yeah, what do you got? What do you got, boys? What do you have? And I'll answer that. I think I will be uploading these 2 VODs in separate YouTube videos later. Gotta do some things, whittle them down a little bit. But how do I get good? Practice, forehead. just shoot heads, forehead. I think I will go back and rewatch what you put down, so I will DM you additional questions if I have them. Okay, do it. And if there's anything that I think I should go in more depth about later, I could do that in the YouTube video, and that'll be up at some point. I don't know. I get pretty lazy, so we'll see how long that takes me. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'll let you know if I have questions as well. Cool. Things to note for each of you. I didn't do this for the other VOD, but maybe I'll add that in the YouTube video later. Let's see. Things to note for each point. Yeah, especially the Reinhardt and Zarya. Got to get that headshot accuracy up, lol. Also, I try to get my perspective of a VOD sometimes if you'd want to do an off-tank one. Yeah, happily. If you'd like, I'd throw VOD review in my VOD review channel, the Discord, and I will get to it one of these coming streams. Definitely, 100%. And Winston too, my headshot percentage for him is 0%. Pepe hands. What do you mean? You don't even have to aim! But, let's see. You guys kind of did this pretty standard with the Ryan Czar holding at the corner, but here I would swap out the tanks for dive tanks, but otherwise play the same. Look for kill zones to the left and right of point, or on point itself. Don't push up too far. Look for hacks on the back line so that Doom can go in and then tanks can follow up. When you're going against goats, you just kind of want to poke and chip away at them. Take advantage of their lack of mobility and just contest the point on the opposite side. Streets phase. It's almost guaranteed that you'll eventually lose this point. At least that's sort of the truth in higher tier games. You can full hold, but it's difficult because eventually they will have all their ults and they will come in and they will use all their ults. So it's difficult. But eventually they'll probably cap and you'll probably end up in street phase. In street phase, you want to try and get, again, just like any payload, you want to try and get 3 fights. Maybe one at this first corner or at the choke if you're so lucky. Another one around this bridge, and then another one at the end. Again, dive tanks would have been really damn good here, just because of all the high ground. Last point. Same kind of thing. You're going to want to look for 3 different fights. One at this first corner, one probably around this little high ground piece here. There's a mini right here. This corner over here is probably ideal. So here, here, and then another one on the point. This corner is a good one to hide around. Try to position closer to walls and out of the line of sight of people, especially as tanks, because as tanks you kind of dictate the positioning for the rest of your team. So like if you're Reinhardt, try to stay close to corners. Look for short pins, not long sweeping pins. Try to hold close to a corner. Close to a corner. And then there's also another spot where you can do a short pin if you're attacking, but close to the corner. And then your rest of your team also holding close to the corner so they can take advantage of the lack of sight lines that the enemy have. By holding close to this corner, it forces them to have to rotate further out to see you around that corner or to get past the shield kind of thing. What else? When you're in between fights, let me bring up my doc. Maybe I don't think anybody said anything about the doc yet, but I will probably send you guys this doc just for shits and gigs that I was making for my own team. But it's basically like a quick guide to the roles everybody has in GOATs. I kind of talked about it a little bit in this VOD where I was talking about how when you're setting up these ult combos, right? Everybody's got a job, everybody's got a role to play in that combo, right? Ana needs to have her nade, Lucy needs to have her speed, you know. People need to have things off of cooldown so that when you're going into this combo, you can burst the shit out of everybody real fast, and basically just wipe the enemy team as fast as possible. Where's this doc? But probably send this to you guys later. You could read over it if you'd like. But at the beginning of this doc, I have this list of things that you need to do before every round and before every team fight. Going down the list, at the start of every round, scout, identify their comp. Are they running a GOATS variation? What DPS are they running? What is diveable on the enemy team? Decide if swaps need to be made. Do you need to counterpick? Do you need to counter a Pharah? Do you need to switch to a different particular variant of GOATS so that you get an advantage against the enemy? Example, you guys were doing it. You were running Moria in the previous map, running Moria GOATS versus the Zen GOATS, ideally to out-sustain Zen GOATS because it's very good for that. And then lastly, identify your job on the team and adjust your playstyle based on the composition that you're running. And then I've also got a list of things that you should do before every fight is about to happen. So in between every fight, the second the fight's lost, these are the things you do. 1, ult tracking. Call somebody on your team needs to call what do they have so that everybody starts thinking about this. It's every individual person's job to keep track of their counterparts on the enemy team, regardless of it's kind of like that, but everybody needs to be keeping track of ults on the enemy team, and at minimum you need to do your counterpart, right? But it is also good to have somebody who is dedicated to making that call of what do the enemy team have so that your team wakes up and starts thinking about it. Figure out what they have. And next, look for a shot call. Look for a win condition. What is your win condition going into the next fight? We've got Shatter. We've got a hack. We've got Doomfist ult. We got Ana. You could go for a big slam. You could hack everybody. You know, you create your win condition so that you can go into the next fight and you have your plan. You know what you're doing. Everybody can start thinking about what their roles are. Scout. Identify if they've made any swaps. Identify where they're positioning. What kind of cooldowns they have. Things like that. Sombra should be doing this quite often. Doomfist should be doing this quite often. They're very flanky. They're behind the enemy team. She is looking for EMP in this particular fight, but this is something she should be doing. They're pushing in. She should be calling where everybody is. She should be looking for things like the Zenyatta that she should be hacking. But scout, relay that information to your team. And then lastly, engage and try to the best of your ability to perform that shot call, that win condition that was made. Don't waste ultimates that weren't related to that win condition. Don't go out of your way to make plays when you don't have to. Don't overult. Don't, just try to apply that win condition to your game. And yeah, those are all things you should do in between every fight. Immediately. Not 26 to 30 seconds into the next fight, But yeah. That's what I got. I hope that was helpful to you guys.